Let's do our list.
Top five, top five, top five, top five.
No debating list. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me share my list. Sorry. Let me share my screen with you. My apologies. Let me go
All right, again,
here.
this is why he's doing that. Top five all-time tag team list or duos.
Tag team duels, you could pick three. I guess you're gonna pick three. I know
No,
you.
I mean, there's some groups that you may have, but it's more tag teamish if you can think of it of all time. So again, this is where the generations come into. Oh, I gotta share it. Hold on. You ready?
Yes, sir. It's up and up. Oh,
All
there it
right.
is.
There we go. So
So let's. I want to change it up though.
let's go back and forth this time. I find
Yeah,
to feel like it's like.
I like that. I think that's gonna be a little
So, do
bit
you have
more
any
fair.
honorable mentions? First off, just asking.
Okay, honorable mentions. My honorable mentions.
We can go two. Let's go three. Three honorable mentions if you have them. If you have
Okay.
them, three. All right.
One of my honorable mentions is FTR. I think FTR is a very, very strong tag team that did a phenomenal job on Saturday. Phenomenal. The Usos, I think the Usos, sure, they you need to respect them. I mean, over 600 plus days as tag team champions, that doesn't come around. And unlike their buddy Roman Reigns, I mean that guy, at least they fight and wrestle. And then if I have to go with one of the old school guys, I'm not gonna take the Undertaker and Kane because I see them more not like taxis. This is why I was a little bit confused because there's a lot of guys that mix and match a lot, but they're not known for being tag team. So I'm gonna go with somebody who was a tag team, who I really enjoyed and was one of my old school favorites. That was the Nasty Boys. I think the Nasty Boys was a good tag team as well in WWE back in the day. I'm a little bit biased. I like them and I did see them as well once live. So what about you? Talk
All
to me.
right. So I had the Usos,
Okay.
Edge and Christian,
Ooh, okay.
and actually I had a couple more, but I'll go. I'll throw. So I said FTR, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, FTR, Usos, and Edge and Christian. And I had the Hardy Boys and some others. Just to let you know where my list is going.
Oh, you're going old school, and a lot of guys, you're gonna realize that I am gonna be a little bit biased. I might cheat.
And anyway, this is our top five list of all time. Your top five list is going to be different. I see right now, Karen Joseph has Beer Money, Hard Foundation, Harlem Heat, and I don't see their four yet.
Harlem Heat
The Hardy Boys
with
looks
Booker
like his
T,
Hardy
baby.
Boys is number four.
Our boy Booker T.
And
Dun,
let me
dun,
see
dun,
where
dun,
number
dun.
five. What'd you get for five, Karen?
And when you look at the list, you're gonna realize where I'm pretty sure this is what I think. And okay, our guesses. We'll do this. Our guesses. This is where I'm thinking with Sean. I'll tell you right now. I have the feeling he's gonna throw maybe the Owen Hart Foundation in there. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts the Midnight Express in there. Um, the Freebirds might be in there as well, probably. He mentioned him last week. See, look at him, he's smiling. So he knows where I'm going. I might have catch maybe one or two. I didn't go that old school on this one. I went more of like the more traditional. The age difference noticeable this time around. I just think that's gonna be the fact. What do you think? Who do you think is gonna be on my list?
I don't know because you threw out Nasty Boys like that. That kind of like threw me off there. I was like, I
I know
mean,
a little bit. I
I'm
know a
sure you're
little
probably
bit.
gonna have like no, but see, to me, the Nasty Boys weren't a great tag team.
They were. That's why they're not on my
They were a
list.
good
They were
tag
good.
team.
They were
They were a
great.
good tag team to a very good tag team, but they would not even be close to my like best all time. But again, I look at wrestling different than you do. That's why I
You
like
do.
these lists
You do.
because
Like
again, it's one of those things to where
like the Bushwhackers. That's another one I would.
Bushwhackers, they were the sheep herders before that. Nobody remembers that because when they got in the bushwhackers, they're like, hey, when they were the sheep herders, they were one of the bloodiest tag teams. They used to just beat people to a bloody pulp. But all right, let's go with our list. Let's go. Number five.
All right, so you want to go first on number
I
five,
have a
or I go?
tie on number five, by the way. I have a
Oh,
tie.
okay. So let's start with your number five. Who you got number
All
five?
right, number five. The Rock and Roll Express
I
and the
knew it.
Midnight Express. Tied.
Okay, let me just put this on caps. The Rock and oh. And I think you're
And
trying to get,
Half Life said Rockers, Hardy Boys, Steiner Brothers, Dudley Boys, Samoa Brothers.
and I
And
think,
Terry also threw in Road Warriors, Hard Foundation, Rock and Roll Express, Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys.
and guys, let me just say something before Sean explains his reasoning. And I need you to go ahead and admit to this. You're trying to win Big O's heart because you know that tomorrow I'm probably gonna ask you, "Hey, who did you like better than this?" And of course, when you say Rock and Roll
Yeah, I went
Express,
to Rock. Yeah,
Big O's gonna choose you.
they weren't on the list at the beginning, but I
They
was
were
like,
not.
no, the Midnight Express. Oh, the Rock and Roll Express, because I grew up on these guys beating the crap out of each other with
Okay,
Jim
talk.
Cornette and everything else. They were like that was tag team wrestling, man. Double drop kick, double team moves. There's another group. There's another team in here that I have that is the same way. And to me, that again, watching FTR nowadays reminds me of a lot of what I grew up on, man.
I like that. I like that a lot. With my number 5, it's gonna come as a surprise for you guys, and it is the Steiner Brothers.
Okay.
And I went with the Steiner Brothers because I mean Rick and Scott are amazing. They had their runs in NWA, IWGP, PCW, PWA, WWE. I mean they were in ECW as well. Their fights against the Dudley Boys was really good. Their battle in WCW with Sting and Lex Luger was really good. Um, and they held the United States and WCW belts at the same time. So I really like that about them. And of course, they also did battle against the Midnight Express, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they battled
So
Midnight Express, Doom, which is another tag team, which was Ron Simmons and
yo,
Butch Reed.
that's
I
so
mean,
good.
there was a lot of wars in those days. The Steiner Brothers, the Road Warriors. There's a lot.
And not only that, but I the reason I put them also on the list is because hey man, they were able to bring Braun Breaker. So the generation still lives on. You have a foundation, and you never know. They could keep going and going and
The
bring
fact
out.
they brought Braun Breaker is what took them off my list.
Wow, okay, Mr. NXT. All right, so now number 4 for
Number
me.
4 for me, the team that
Okay.
invented a rule in tag team wrestling, the Fabulous Freebirds. Number 4, Michael P.S. Hayes, Buddy Roberts, Jimmy Garvin, depending which way you want to go, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. They won the tag team titles. Any two of the three.
Wait, did Sean freeze up? Uh-oh. Sean froze.
There you
He
go.
was There you go. There you go. We got you back. We
Are
got
we
you back.
back?
You're
Oh
back.
my
You're back.
goodness. Whew. Whew. I thought Michael took me down. I thought PS took me out. And then Michael P.S. Hayes, I mean, with them suits that he wears nowadays, that alone should get him on there. But, again, the Freebirds, again, a heel, they're antagonists.
Good.
They were on my all-time heels last week. And then what they did as a tag team with the Von Erichs and on and on. So the Fabulous Freebirds, number 4 for me.
I've gotten 2 already of
Oh,
your
wait, real quick. I'm sorry. Tony Zags came in. Hardy Boys, Dudleys, Young Bucks, Usos, FTR. And then Karoon came in with the Hardys, Edge and Christian, New Age Outlaws, Harlem Heat, Road Warriors. Okay.
Man, a lot of you guys really liked Harlem Heat. And you know what? I was looking into them.
I love them as a tag team. I do.
I love. I mean, obviously they were really well known in WCW. I wasn't a big fan of them in WWE, but that's not WWE didn't utilize them as best as I wish they
Also,
could.
they didn't bring Stevie Ray in.
Yeah, yeah.
It was only Booker.
Number 4 for me is the
Oh,
Dudley Boys.
wow. Hmm.
And I put the Dudley Boys because first and foremost, you know, Bubba Ray and Devon are legends. I know you can't see it. Obviously, I have the poster back there as well of Devon. They did a great job, man. They invented the whole thing. Bring out the tables. Everybody knows about that. They will always be known for that. And I think maybe I'm wrong or not, but in my opinion, I honestly feel they invented hardcore wrestling when it came to the tag team matches. I think that's what they were known for in ECW. They were known for in WWE. in TNA as well. They made their way everywhere.
Well,
They've
them and
won.
the Gangstas made the hardcore tag team.
Okay, so they were able, and I did my research on this one. They were able. I believe they're the only wrestling tag team that has the WWE, the WWF, the ECW, the WCW, the TNA, the NWA, the IWGP, and obviously TNA too. But well, I already said Impact. I think Impact as well. I'm not too sure if I said that right. No,
No, it's just
um,
TNA. It was TNA.
TNA. Okay, okay. So then, so they were the only ones to carry all those, and I believe they were the last ones to carry the ECW tag team belts before they moved on to WWE. Is that right? I think
That
so.
is
Wrong.
wrong.
Okay, I was close. I was close. I
No,
thought
no,
they were.
they were the holders, but they lost, I believe, to Tommy Dreamer on a WWE show.
Okay.
And then that was the last time that the real ECW was around, I believe, is how it
I
went down.
I
They
know they lost
lost,
it
I
a.
believe it was Tommy Dreamer and Sandman, I believe it was.
Well, I remember the majority of their fights with RVD and Sabu. I do remember those. And then in WWE, obviously they are well known for the Hardys and the Edge and Christian fights.
And putting May
So,
Young through tables.
oh yes, that was another reason. That's another
Yeah,
thing
for all
that a
that
lot of
stuff.
people were known. They would do that to everybody. So number four, Dudley Boys for me.
All right. Number 3 for me,
Nice.
the Dudley Boys.
Oh, dude, we're right there. Look at you. I'm not that bad.
Yeah. And what's funny is the one thing when they left ECW, I was like, I'm interested to see how they handle WWE because again, you're going from ECW where it's just a bunch of guys just beating the crap out of each other. You're bleeding. The crowd goes crazy no matter what. And to watch them and when they got to WWE and see how they just blended right in fine, man. The TLC match with the Hardys and Edge and Christian. And then, again, 23 championships throughout all of wrestling. And Bully Ray still going today. And Devon, if he didn't hurt his neck and everything else, he'd probably still be going too. And to me, man, again, my worry was could they make that style work in WWE? And once I saw it did, it was just takeoff time for them, man. Because again, they understand the business of wrestling. They get what the business of wrestling is, and both of them lived it. I mean, hell, remember in ECW, I believe it was Devon or Bubba Ray drove the shirts around to sell at the different arenas. And all of them had I mean, dude, they weren't like they were making millions and millions of dollars at that point.
Didn't they ask for like a $1 raise when they went to WWE or something like that? I
So
thought
the story is they went to Paulie and said, give us $1 more. And Paulie said no. If you give us $1 more, we'll stay. And Paulie said no. But also, I believe Paulie was in Vince's pocket, which is why he fed them the Dudley
Oh yeah,
Boys and
yeah.
everything else because he
He was
knew
feeding them. He was
he knew,
feeding
but
ECW
he
wrestling,
also
right?
knew that time's ticking away here. Let me get them out because I don't want to deal with them when it becomes time to where I can't pay people. I don't want these two guys knocking on my door. So let
Yeah,
me send them up and get them paid so I don't have to worry about the Dudley Boys.
yeah.
And then here goes Chad came in with Steen and El Generico, Hardy Boys,
Ooh,
Dudley Boys, New Age Outlaws, and the Mega Powers.
wow. Yo,
Um,
another surprise for me is how much you guys really like the New Age Outlaws. I mean,
they were on my list. I had to bump them down. I had to bump them
it's hard, man. I had a lot. I
because
was
I think they kind of changed a little bit of what tag team wrestling was when they became partners because it was more entertainment and then Billy could wrestle. I mean, hell, bad Road Dog will tell you, Road Dog, like, I can't do a goddamn lockup. I'm just there to be the mouthpiece. And then I do the dancing and stuff, and that's all I do. Everybody else handles everything else. But if I see Demolition on here, I'm not watching anymore. Armando V. Well, I can tell you something, Armando V. Demolition is not on my list.
and it is
I can't
not
tell you
on
why
my
both
list
of those
either,
lists.
sir. It is not on my list either.
All right, number 3, Frankie Fresco.
Oh wait. Oh, my number three. Okay, hold on. My bad. Oh yeah, because he said the Dudley Boys. My apologies. The Hart Foundation is number three for me, and
Oh,
this
okay.
and this is
I'll argue
Bret
with that.
Hart. and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Now, for me, these guys, I saw them, but when I was little, I used to rent a lot of video cassettes, videotapes, and stuff like that, and that's how I saw them.
Halcyon Video, baby.
Yeah, so I used to rent them. So I remember their fights. I remember their fights with the British Bulldogs, and I remember their fights with the Nasty Boys. Was another one. Um, I like the fact that they were the staple of WWE. They pretty much were the whole tag team of WWE. They were they did their careers in WWE. Let's keep it real. A little bit of WCW, I think, but they had already kind of. I don't think they kind of worked together as much. They were known for WWE.
Brett was in WCW for less than 6 months before he got his head kicked in.
Nah. And then so it just for me, the Hart Foundation, they created a legacy, right? Because now not only that, but you have other people who have come out of this, like Natalia. Natalia's, has come out because her father. Teddy Hart, another one. Tyson Kidd, another one. So you see wrestlers coming out, and I think that they made something bigger. And when you see that pink, I thought that was amazing. I thought that I will always remember.
Pink and Black Attack.
I'm always thinking about the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Jim Diamond. Plus, he had that goatee. He looked like Tank Abbott. If you got it from my UFC fans, those Tank Abbott type of look. He was good, man. And I have them as my number 3.
And to answer Cat for Life, he was not part of the Hart Foundation. He was managed by Jimmy Hart.
He was.
And I'm not sure if they, because he did the rhythm and blues with Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine when they did his hair black, and he was like the Elvis in person. It was they did the tag team with them. He was never part of the Hart Foundation. I'm not sure what they called Jimmy Hart's group, but he was not actually part of the Hart Foundation. My number 2 is a tag team that I loved, man. When I saw these guys come on, I said, "Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good." Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, baby.
I knew you were going to go with them.
Tully, Tully.
I knew you were going to correct me.
Oh, what do you got going, Toby? What are we doing here?
Hold on. My apologies. How did you spell it? T-O-Y?
T-U.
Oh, my bad.
L-L-Y Blanchard. Blanchard. Now, these two, yes, they were tag team wrestling, man. Everything. I mean,
they're like FTR, right?
Dude, FTR watching it. FTR's 80s. They took a little bit of the Rock and Roll Express because now they're more athletic these days and everything else. They combined the Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, all into one with FTR. And let me tell you something, man. The titles they held and everything that they did. And I get it. They went to the WWE and they were the brain busters and everybody, and they didn't get their due, but that's because they weren't Vince's boys. That's why Tully left. That's why Arn was like, I'm out as soon as they could. They weren't going to get anything over there because they weren't Vince's boys. They were the NWA, and they were brought up to they won a title, yes, but they were brought up to just be stepping stones for all the guys beating the boys from down south, the northern guys beating the guys from down south and pushing them up in the WWE. That's why Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard were there. So I don't look at that shit in their record. I look at what they did as the Horsemen and everything they did there. And to me, number 2 tag team of all time.
All right, my number 2, I kind of cheated. And
Armando V, yes. Arn and Tully at 2.
I apologize to Sean and to the Dudley boys, but my number 2 is a combination. And I had to cheat because I just couldn't leave either one of these out.
Are you kidding me?
No, sir. I have Edge and Christian and the Hardys as number 2.
You left the Dudleys at 4? You didn't move them up to be a 3-way?
I know. That's why I told you were going to be upset at me because I didn't do that. But I'm going to tell you why I did this. And the reason I did this is because I'm looking at their whole. I am a little bit biased when it comes to WWE, so I know the Dudleys are ECW. I had, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there was points in time when I was thinking about moving these guys around because it was hard for me. I'm telling you, it was hard for me. But I just think Edge and Christian and the Hardys. At first, I only had Edge and Christian, and then I was like, man, how can I have not the Dudleys above them? And then I was like, but wait, Edge and Christian was so good. The chairs, the way they did everything. For me, it was really really hard. So I went ahead and I said, you know what? If I combine both of them, they'll be better than the Dudleys. That's the only way I thought about it. So I mean, again, these guys were the ones that invented all that TLC, man, and memorable matches. The Hardys are still going at it. I know they're not the best in AEW, but they're still going at it after 20 plus years, probably. And Edge and Christian still going at it. Unfortunately, they're in different companies, but I'm pretty sure, and I hope to before Edge retires, because I know he's mentioned that he wants to retire, that he kind of makes one last pit stop with Christian, and they do something together. So I knew you were gonna get mad at me. I know the chat was gonna be a little bit upset at me, but I had to cheat, and I know I apologize, Dudley boys. I apologize. Should have thrown a three-way. That's what I should have done. But I went ahead and did Edge and Christian and the Hardys.
Okay.
I know I got Cap upset. I knew you guys were gonna be mad at me. Damn.
All right, you ready for my number one?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, Armando, clear your eyes, ears, whatever, cover everything. My number one team was a team that wore paint. They wore leather. They had spikes.
I don't know who they are.
The Road Warriors, baby. No Legion team. Get that WWE crap off there. It's the damn Road Warriors. Have respect on that right now.
Amazing.
Right there. When they came out, AWA and NWA, and they had Iron Man and all that crap hit the thing, and they come in on the motorcycles. Come on, man. And then they became the Legion of Doom, and it was a little bit more PG. But man, the Road Warriors, baby. Tony Zach, you're not wrong, man. I wish maybe we should go to a top like 15, man, sometimes.
Yeah.
Because my problem is this. I don't think that any of the tag teams of today necessarily have a resume that can stack up to what these tag teams we had here. Have they had great matches, instant classics? Yes. But again, you got to stand the test of time, man. Hell, Ricky Morton is still wrestling with his son right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just Bubba Ray just headlined the Impact pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Sir.
So number one, the Road Warriors, not the Legion of Doom, Animal, Hawk, Paul Ellering. Not the Paul Ellering that went with the AOP. I'm talking about the real Wall Street Journal reading Paul Ellering. Road Warrior Animal, Road Warrior Hawk, the Road Warriors.
Look at that. When you said it, my screen turned black.
Damn straight.
All right, my number one, man, it's going to come as a surprise.
Wait, real quick. I'm sorry. AJ Hawk is not Animal's son. It's John Laurinaitis, the football player. He was a linebacker. His last name Laurinaitis. I can't remember his first name right now off the top of my head. It's not AJ Hawk. Oh, man. What was the linebacker? James Laurinaitis, I think it was, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, James Laurinaitis is it. He was the linebacker. He's the linebacker coach now for Ohio State. Yeah, it was James Laurinaitis. I'm sorry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Frankie Fresco with his number one, top five, no debating list. Yes! If you would have put the Legion of Doom out, or whooped your ass. It would have been a fight, Frankie Fresco. It would have been a fight if you would have put Legion of Doom.
The Road Warriors.
What do you have on your actual paper? What do you have written?
I have this. I'm not gonna lie to you. have both.
Oh,
And the
you did
reason
both. Okay. All right. All right.
and the reason I'll do both. And the reason I did that is because I saw them mostly on WWE. That's why.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that doesn't mean I did not respect what they did before they were in WWE. I'll tell you what, guys, they are my favorite tag team of all time. I've loved them. I got to see them live when I was 6 years old at Miami Arena. It was amazing to see those guys, and the fights that they did, memorable. I think what I really, really enjoyed about them was that attitude of like, yo, we don't have to showboat, we don't have to cheat. It was either we're gonna win fair and square or we're gonna lose fair and square. They never had to do any of these cheating things to actually win their fights. And it just they did so much for WWE. And when they I know they didn't have a great run in WWE. I think they only won the belts twice in WWE, if I'm not mistaken. But they did so much for NWA. They did so much for WCW. They did so much for AWA. They won the Jim Crockett Cup. One of the most memorable fights, and I was only two, so I know about this only because I've read it. Because when you have a tag team that you really really enjoy and really like, you start doing research on them. There's documentaries on them that you should check it out. Like their documentaries is awesome. It was that I believe it was that started at that Stargate. That Stargate was it Stargate? I think it was Stargate where they were fighting against the they were fight
Starcade
Starcade. There you go, and they were fighting the Midnight Express
in the scaffold match.
in the scaffold match. So, guys, if you've never seen that, bro, one of the best fights, insane. You have so you got the ring, and then they're elevated, being held by like some rinky-dink cords. I remember, I think it was Hawk who climbed up, and I think one of the things broke. Like when he was trying to climb up, and he could have fallen 40 feet down the ground and then died, or broken his
Because
leg or
remember
something.
back then they weren't fit. They were actual scaffolding that construction workers used, and most construction workers aren't 6'6", 320 pounds trying to climb up them.
Jesus.
So they weren't necessarily set up for that. And that's also the same match where Jim Cornette blew out both his legs.
Yes. So you say yeah. So he's holding on for dear life because the way you're supposed to win the match is you're supposed to fall off. So Jim Cornette is holding on eventually after they bid in the Midnight Express, and Jim Cornette is holding on, and I saw where there was supposed to be, I think, somebody holding who's supposed to grab him, and I guess he didn't calculate it right, and when he just drops, he breaks both of his knees. Man, that was memorable. And you know what, man? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There was like, I remember when they, unfortunately, there's, the issues that happened with, was it Hawk, right? Hawk was the one that had the drug issues, right? Was he the one that had
Yeah,
the
he ended up with
whole?
the alcohol issues and things. Yeah,
So it's unfortunate because he was up and down, and in his WWE career, he kind of had some issues where he just was missing, turns and stuff. And people were